All right, we're on. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
Okay, yeah, there's Natasha and Janine. Kathy, wave at us. Yay. All right, and then we've got, hey, wave at us. Like, I got a camera on you. Wave, say hi. Yay. Okay, we just had a fun facial session and we always learn so much from each other. But I just wanted to go over some quick basic things with you guys real quick tonight. And one of the most important things, you guys, in building a business, because how many of you have worked another job somewhere? You've worked for somebody else. Yes. And I mean, the blessing of that is you show up for a certain amount of time and you know you're going to get paid a certain amount of money. And, you know, but the curse of that is that's all you're ever going to make for that time. You'll never be paid for that time again. And so building your business with Mary Kay or building any business, it takes time, it takes commitment, it takes showing up again and again and again. And I was really reflecting today because I've heard so many, you hear all the time, the key is consistency. And I remember Rena Tarbett was a top national sales director, and she would always say, you know, you'll stay kind of in a frustrated state if you Zoom eek, like do a bunch and then stop, and then do a bunch and then stop. You'll never kind of get a flow going. And so I was really reflecting on that. I'm like, man, that is so true. And so I was reflecting on, I heard a training one time from National Sales Director Dawn Ottensweeney, and she talked about the cycles of emotion that we go through, you know, with our business, but this will apply to, you know, with Amanda Kay sitting here as a newlywed, with marriage at any level, any kind of relationships. So really kind of soak this in, because the key is if you can recognize kind of where you are in the cycle and know what to do once you recognize where you are, that's how you can keep going and keep staying consistent. Okay, so what's at the very top of the circle? Excitement. Go for it. Of course, you're pumped, you're excited, you just got started, you have big goals and dreams, you went to a big event, and you're just dreaming big, and so you're right there. And what inevitably happens, something's going to disappoint you. Somebody is going to say no, somebody cancels, you know, somebody lets you down in some way. And so that, I mean, that's inevitable. And think about that in relationships. And if you haven't, you and Grant need to sit down and watch Stephen Furtick's latest series. I can't remember anyway, it's not just about marriage, but it's about relationships, but it is so perfect for newlyweds. So promise me you guys will watch that together. Okay. Yeah, like I have, she's going to watch it. We've recorded forever, but, on elevationchurch.org, you can watch those, but inevitably disappointment's going to happen. I mean, this is a fallen world with disappointments. I mean, that's going to happen. So it's natural. What do? From there, we go into what's called cocooning, the cocooning stage. And this is where we withdraw from, you know, like in our Mary Kay business, withdraw from, you know, coming to meetings or connecting with your sales director, or even just putting efforts out there. That's very normal to do. Or if you think about life and relationships, I know people that have stayed stuck in cocooning their entire life for a lifetime, and that scares me. I don't want to do that. Will you do me a favor and just shut that door real quiet? You know, don't have to shut it all the way, or give me a Ritalin, either one. But so when you recognize that you're in the cocooning stage, there's what we normally start to do is we start analyzing everything in a negative way. So again, think about it. If your husband disappointed you, if something disappointing happened in your Mary Kay business, even a girlfriend, you know, some kind of situation disappoints you, you go into cocooning and you start analyzing everything in a very negative way. Mm-hmm. And that's where people stay stuck. Again, sometimes for a lifetime, they never come out of that. But if you can learn first of all to recognize, okay, I'm kind of cocooning here. and you can analyze in a positive, proactive way, this is going to help you so much. So in your Mary Kay business, what does that look like? First of all, this is a skills-based business, you guys. There's just several simple skills that when you very first start a Mary Kay business, it can seem a little bit, you know, a lot to juggle and learn and soak in. But once you have those skills down, if you think of any other job you've ever worked, there's always that learning curve, that beginning of where you're learning how to new skills, or you know, doing things the way the company asks you to do them. There's always that learning curve. But if you'll kind of embrace, you know, just simple ways to book, the words to use, the scripts to use, customer service skills, party procedure skills. Those are all things that are scripted out that you can learn, easily learn. It's all very reproducible. It's nothing that you have to creatively come up with on your own. So when you find yourself in cocooning, you say, okay, let me have a talk with my director and see if there's a certain skill that I need to kind of really hone in on, and then your sales director can give you those tools. But let's say you get to the point where your skills are pretty good. You know how to book, you know how to hold parties and facials, you're pretty good with customer service, but you find yourself cocooning. Then take a look at it. How many reach outs have you made in the last 30 days? Now, this is not a license to beat yourself up, because this isn't, if again, one of the most top national sales directors said, if we can learn to work from discipline and not emotion, that's where the magic happens. Now, don't ever take the emotion, care and the service and the love of your clients and people you're working with. But if you can learn to lead yourself, not in an emotional way or in a beating yourself up way, but just really evaluate in a way that like a man would, kind of think like a man for a second, you know, say, okay, without beating myself up, how many reach outs have I really made in the last 30 days? Or how many faces have I done in the last 30 days? And if it's not a lot, that's okay, but that might be right there, your troubleshoot of, okay, I need to continue to make reach outs. And in building a business, just like with building your cleaning business, you know, you're going to find you're going to make connections with people. Some are going to stick, and sometimes you have to move on to other clients. But with building a business based on statistics, sometimes you have to make a touch 6, 7, 8 times reach outs before you get those yeses that hit. So, oh my gosh, if I could give you statistics on real estate businesses, how it would be very depressing. And I don't want to throw out numbers because I know I won't give the right numbers, but it's like literally they will send out hundreds and hundreds of very expensive flyers they had printed off, and they might get one hit. So we are very fortunate, but so we got to have a little bit tougher skin. They are not rejecting us personally. They're just not in the market for what we're offering. And so then you say, okay, if they're not in the market right now, who's next? And here's the other thing too, you guys, you're constantly planting seeds. So you will be amazed at somebody that maybe you reached out to like here recently, and all of a sudden 2-3 months down the road, they pick up the phone and they say, hey, I was out of my foundation and I thought of you. Maybe I'll try that Mary Kay foundation. So what you get right in the moment isn't the end of the story. There's always, I always say, watch for the chain of events that happens after the reach out. And some people just flat say no, and that's okay. That way I say to myself, and this is where, like Mary Kay Ash said, take God as your business partner. I say, Lord, help me to connect with the people that I can bless them. They'll be a blessing to me. And that way, if someone says no to me or it doesn't work out, I'm like, okay, I wasn't supposed to put my energy there. So who is my assignment? Where am I supposed to reach out? Because those opportunities are all around us. Our market, or our competition, so to speak, is not other Mary Kay consultants' customers. It's everybody that's going from everything to Walmart to Target to Sephora to all of those different things. Yay! Do you love it? Yes. And did you guys ride together or no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you okay to sit in on some training real quick? Okay, you're awesome. Okay, y'all have a seat. So we only have 1/10 of the market. So that all of those women, you know, are out there, you guys. So you find yourself cocooning because you've been disappointed by a no or a rejection. So then if you can recognize that that's where you are, always reach up. I have broad shoulders. You are, you know, after almost 22 years of doing this, you guys are not going to bum me out. Like, I would way rather you reach out and say, hey, you know, something's not clicking here. Can we talk about, is there a skill that I need to tighten up on? Or I haven't had a lot of reach outs this last month. How can I kind of get back, reaching back out again? You know, okay, so let's say those are the 2 things that you've analyzed. But the third thing would be, let's say you got the skills in place, because eventually all you guys are going to get there. The skills are going to be rock solid. The reach outs are totally there. But let's say you're still not hitting on the results. Then you look at, am I in my target market? Am I reaching out to my target market? Now, what does that mean? If you are like hinging all your business on going to nursing homes or working with 13-year-olds, you're going to be frustrated. And what we do sometimes when we don't feel brave, we ask people that we're not as scared of. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Our target market is, not that you're not, because, you know, you're good, but, you know, like early 20s to mid 60s. Okay, so really ask yourself, you know, am I kind of hitting in my target market? Now, moms with younger daughters is great, but if you're doing all parties with 12-year-olds, you know, you're going to be, the results aren't going to be there. The mama's got to be there too, right? So am I in my target market? Am I working with people that show responsibility in other areas of their lives? You know, and I know this sounds simple, but again, really think about that. Do they show responsibility in the home they rent or own, in their job situation, in their relationships? And unfortunately, a lot of times you can tell a lot about people by their social media, you know. Mm-hmm. and if it's drama, mama, you know, you might want to shift your energy towards other things and people, right? So just so that you're not spinning your wheels and wasting your time. You want to connect with women that need and want what we have to offer. They're going to Dillard's, they're going to Sephora, they're going and getting the drugstore brands, the higher end drugstore brands. They want a good product. They're gonna spend money on that. I had a conversation with someone the other day. I've yet to have anybody say, times are really tough, so I've quit wearing mascara. You know, I mean, it just doesn't happen, right? I mean, people need something to wash their face with, and they need some makeup as a pick-me-up. So really look at your target market. When Dawn Otten-Sweeney gave this example, she lived in a border town on the border of Mexico. You know, she was in, I can't remember what state it was in, but she said everybody spoke Spanish. She was there because of her husband's job, and she couldn't speak Spanish. You know, so she had to learn to speak Spanish so that she could reach out to her market that was around her. So, you know, just be thinking, am I asking people that are going to say yes, but there's not going to be a whole lot of results from that, or there's going to be extra cancellations or no-shows because there's not a lot of responsibility and character there. Does that make sense, you guys? Ask the people that make you nervous, and they will rock your world. Feel the fear and do it anyway. It's worth it. So when Dawn Otten-Sweeney trained on this cycle, so the top is excited, go for it, I'm pumped, I'm going to take on the world. what happens inevitably? There's a disappointment. There's somebody at church that
Yes.
says something to you that you don't love. And I didn't love either, but, you know, and so then when we get disappointed, we cocoon, we hold back from connecting or making reach outs. So again, the first key is to recognize when you're in those stages. And then when you're in cocooning, instead of negatively analyzing, analyze in a way that's productive and say, number one, this is a skills-based business. Is there a skill that I need to just work on? And reach out to your director. Your director will give you the you know, where to find that information and education. But if your skills are in place, number two, how many reach outs have I really made in the last 30 days? How many faces have I done in the last 30 days? But do this in a way of not beating yourself up, because this isn't good girl, bad girl, pass or fail. This is meant to be a joyful journey. So if you can kind of think like a man for a second and just say, how many faces and reach outs have I made in the last 30 days? Not, I'm so horrible, I haven't made, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be that, okay? Just think kind of logically for a minute. And then if that's there, then ask yourself, am I working within my target market? So let's say all of that's in place. Then I didn't coin this phrase, but I added a stage in the cycle that you're fine called, and I call it the grind. And you got to embrace the grind. Okay, I don't watch a ton of TV, but when I do, I love to watch like success stories of people, and like especially people that like came from, like one of the little gymnasts the Olympians that's won the gold, like she was was raised by her grandparents and or adopted, and and I love stuff like that. So it's so inspiring. And okay, I lost my train of thought. It's going to come back to me. Okay, so I was watching several years ago, I was watching a thing about how the NFL players prepare in the off season. And I mean, do they get a huge paycheck? Yeah, but holy cow, they work so hard. I mean, just physically, just beating their bodies half to death, you know, getting ready to compete on that kind of level. And one of the guys had a t-shirt that said, embrace the grind. And I'm like, I love that. And I also think it's like a MMA cage fighting thing too. But anyway, but my point is, you know, okay, you know, I'm a little blonde female, but you know what? Dang it, I want to be tough and I want to embrace the grind too, right? And so once you recognize you're in that cocooning, you've gone through all the things, then there's nothing left to do but to embrace the grind. And you know what? There is plenty of times where I have sat and made phone calls or passed out brochures, and I wasn't, you know, there wasn't a little unicorn or a bunny or a rainbow, or, you know, there wasn't anybody going, you can do it, Kathy, you sound great, keep going. You know, it was just little old me, maybe feeling a little grumpy, a little lonely. Not a lot was happening, but I was willing to just keep reaching out, keep reaching out, keep reaching out. Be creative, open my mind, because you guys, the law of attraction is a real thing. And if we get into a negative mindset and a can't do it, not gonna work, that's what we're putting out there, and that's what we're gonna get. But if we can put ourselves into a belief mindset of, this isn't my favorite right this second, and there's not pink bubbles and rainbows and warm fuzzies, but I'm going to embrace the grind and just keep reaching out and do what I know to do. What's going to happen? It's going to hit. You're going to connect with just the right person who is like, oh, Mary Kay, oh my gosh, I've been looking for somebody. I'm out of everything. Please bring me a book. Or Mary Kay, I would love to do a makeover. I'm so happy we ran into each other. Our Beverly Carter, she just walked out of a prayer meeting at church. They're doing like that, almost kind of like a reverse revival. It's in the morning, and she has her Mary Kay sticker on her car, and someone was like, is that your car? I've been looking for someone in Mary Kay. I'm totally out of everything. Do you have a book? You know, and she'd been making some reach outs and not getting a lot. And she's like, there you go. There you go. Because when you're building a business of any kind and you're an entrepreneur, if we've got to know the difference between having long-term vision and demanding immediate gratification. And look, my business pays for a lot of our household needs. So I'm not saying, woo, you know, whatever, go out there and have fun. And if you make money, that's not at all what I'm saying. But I kind of click myself into a mindset of, if I show up and reach out again and again and again and again, it's going to come back to me. I'm going to reap what I'm sowing. And I'm almost 22 years of living proof of that. I could tell you guys funny stories, you know, that are funny now, but of, you know, driving to Jay, Florida, and the person, nobody lived there even. It was a vacant house. You know, I mean, I could tell you so many stories, but it's like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? When I picked up, you know, my 9th car, who cares if someone no-showed or said no or hurt my feelings? I'm not even thinking about those people, you know? So it's worth it. So consistency really is the key. I think you can embrace the grind by every day asking yourself, what's one thing today that I could do for my Mary Kay business? Am I running an errand somewhere that I could drop off a card and a lipstick sample? Am I, you know, let me go through my phone contacts and my Facebook friends, and instead of just doing, because sometimes we do like a shout out, hey, does anybody need Mary Kay? You know, don't do that. I love, one of the national sales directors calls it the velvet rope approach, where you send a private message. It's me to you. I would love to treat you to a Mary Kay facial and just get your opinion. When are you least busy that we could sneak in that hour? I'd love to treat you and pamper you for all you do for your family and everybody around you. So again, that's a skill of knowing what to say. And then it's a skill of knowing how to reach out to one person at a time. And sometimes, you know, yeah, we want the parties. I mean, nothing wrong with having a party booked. But sometimes we got to start with just one face at a time and building our confidence, building our skills with that, okay? So, man, I would way rather have somebody do one little tiny thing for their Mary Kay business every day and get into the habit of where it almost feels weird. I went to bed tonight and I didn't even make a reach out for my Mary Kay. Then have someone do a whole bunch and then get mad or crabby or whatever and then stop for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the everyday that you can really build momentum. When you're Zoom eking, like Rena Tarbett said, that's going to just be frustrated, because you'll just, when you're starting to get started, then something makes you mad and gets you disappointed, then you cocoon again, you know? So learn to recognize what stage you're in. Now, when you're in embrace the grind, I double dog dare you that something isn't going to hit that pumps you back up again. All of a sudden you're going to have a great reorder, or someone's going to reach out back to you that you've reached out to, or a random person will say, hey, I heard you're doing Mary Kay. You just keep reaching out. So what's going to happen then? You're going to go right back to excitement again. So here's something that I had to learn, though. I had to kind of learn to, my son has a psychology degree and a criminal justice degree, and he calls it regulating your emotions. He'll talk about maybe a situation that upset him, and he said, but I regulated my emotions. And I love that. I've kind of gotten a hold of that, because a lot of times we as women, we are, oh my God, best day ever, you know, like the girl on Tangled, you know, or oh my God, I hate myself, everybody, I just want them to die. You know what I mean? We're like up here, down here, up here, down here. And when we're like that, that will wear you out. It will exhaust you. I mean, even if you're a quieter personality, we can still do that internally, even though we're not making everybody else crazy around us, right? But if we can learn to not have super high highs or super low lows and kind of stay like, that was awesome, I am really proud of myself, that was a great connect, instead of, whoa, you know, or you know what, wow, that really disappointed me. I'm going to have to say a prayer, bless them, change me. And, you know, maybe just take a minute to have a nice Starbucks and treat myself and shake it off for a minute. But now let me go ahead, and who else can I reach out to that they're going to bless me and I'm going to bless them, kind of thing. So see, instead of having those high highs and low lows, kind of really have that emotional management. You're gonna have the energy to daily make those reach outs in your business. Does that make sense, you guys? So I wanted to share all of that with you with that cycle, because man, even as a sales director, and I know, and again, Dawn Otten-Sweeney, very, very successful national sales director from Michigan. She's the one that did the training. She's like, even as a national sales director. And the thing is whether you're in Mary Kay or not, you're going to go through that cycle. You might go through that cycle several times a day, right? And so again, you got to recognize where you are. That's the key. George Bernard Shaw said, most people think once or twice a year. So if you just thought about that, you just use one of your times. But if we can learn to kind of engage our brain and not be on autopilot, because what we do is we go by triggers and stuff from the past and kind of how we've always thought and always done things. If we can learn to, as Linda Tupin says, make a new crease. If you think of a piece of paper, just a regular white piece of paper, and if you fold it in half and you what do? You press down on that crease, and you press down on that crease and press down on that crease. Well, thoughts in our mind, whether positive or negative, every time we relive those thoughts, can't do it, no one's going to say yes, or, you know, I can do it, you know, whatever it is, it makes that crease press more and more and more and more to where it's permanently there. So what we need to learn to do in all areas of our life, not just our Mary Kay, is unfold. I mean, I don't know about you, but I grew up with a lot of negative creases. And over time, it's been a process. It doesn't happen overnight. But as we intentionally go and like Paul says in the Bible, capture every thought and say, what am I even thinking? Is this like something that's going to help me move ahead in just my life, not just Mary Kay? Fold that crease and take that piece of paper and start folding a totally new crease. And I know that sounds, or I hope it doesn't sound, I don't know, corny or voodoo or whatever, but man, it has changed my life, you guys, learning to capture those thoughts and replacing those thoughts with, I guess, like the what ifs. A lot of times, especially when we're started in Mary Kay, and I mean, God just helped me taking step after step, because when I started, I was very unsure of myself, and I did fight a lot of fear and insecurity, and I still get nervous when I go do big appointments and things like that. But instead of, like, I think it's human nature to say, what if they say no? What if I try and I don't do what I set out to do? What if someone laughs at me? What if this? What if that? If when you start hearing those what ifs in your head, if you can say, all right, I'm going to play a game with the what if. You know what? What if I ask somebody and they love this and we totally rock it and it's like the greatest thing? What if I set out to do something and I totally exceed beyond what I ever thought? What if this ends up being a huge blessing to me and my family? So learn to flip the script in your head to what if I keep reaching out and man, the next 3 people end up being the best clients I could have ever asked for, because they're out there, you guys. So does that help you guys a little bit? Because our business is not hard. You know what I'm saying? Cleaning is hard work. Food service is hard work. What my husband does as a first responder and my son, hard. Being in the military, that's hard. Working retail is hard, right? Our business isn't hard. What makes it a challenge is the mental gymnastics here. And if we can learn to regulate our emotions, as Zach says, and just really think about what we're thinking, and then reach up and ask someone to help us with our skills, help us evaluate our reach outs, and help us make sure we're in our target market, and then be willing to embrace the grind and just keep reaching out. Even if the warm, fuzzy excitement isn't there, the excitement will come back. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so real quick, and then we're going to close. Any feedback real quick, just quick little popcorn. Did this help? Was this helpful? Yes. Okay. Real quick, new products available to everybody tomorrow, August 16th. Don't forget lookbooks. Don't forget the new lip color samples because the matte lipsticks are regular line, and they're gorgeous. My favorites are the Mauve Moment, the Always Apricot, and the Bashfully You. But they're all gorgeous. The reds, everything. The new lip liners are regular line. We now have a red. We now have a pink, an apricot, a berry, a pink, and then 3 shades of neutral, which is amazing. Don't forget the facial peel. I'm going to run home tonight and do the facial peel. And then, of course, the limited edition fall stuff is gorgeous too. The nail polishes are really pretty. They've got that fleck of metallic that are real pretty. And don't forget that our interview challenge. Hold 3 interviews with me or with your director, and you get a pack of 10 lookbooks and one of the nail polishes, whichever one you want. And if you do the Beisel area challenge, the perfect contest, and track your faces. And if you have any questions about this, just holler at me later. If you do the perfect 3, you get 1 matte lipstick, and because you're tracking. I'm like, I want my lipstick. And you do the next one, you get 2, the next level 3, and the next level 4. So make sure you track your faces, you guys, because again, these are you can get your own color, or you can get one to sell, right? So hopefully this helped. Is there any other questions before I let you go? You guys, it's worth it. Chasing faces takes you places. Building those clients, loving on those clients, getting to 10 clients. Make it a goal just to get to build your customer base to 10, and then get to 20, and then just keep doing it in increments of 10, really learning how to promote the benefits of our skincare, of whatever skincare line would be best for them, and keep building till you get to 50 and 100 and beyond. You guys, it is 1 million infinity worth it. Okay? All right. Awesome. Everybody give a big woo to everybody. Thank you. Love you. Mwah. See you next time.